This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store, Forged Irish Stout. Delighted to be joined with Don Charles here in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, the day after yesterday. Daniel Dubois with a brilliant stoppage victory over Filip Hrgovic. I suppose it's almost been like not even 12 hours since that fight. Just sum up to me the feeling for yourself now and after that fight.
Yeah, I mean, listen, yeah, first of all, I'm still in a daze because it's such a wonderful feeling, knowing we knew prior. I think we spoke, and I said it was probably Daniel's toughest fight to date in his professional career, and it was. It proved to be that. We knew it was going to be tough, but we also knew that we're going to come through it. He was going to come through it and grind it out and get a victory.
I suppose, how big do you think that was of a win for Daniel? That that having that comeback of the Miller fight, and then now having that Hrgovic fight as well, who was undefeated before that. He's a world level contender, one fight away from a world title. So it shows how credible a win that really is.
Yeah, I mean, it's a massive. Every win is massive, but that win was a massive win. The Miller win was a massive win. It's hurdles, isn't it? When we're running a 110-meter race. You got to clear every hurdle, and that's what he's doing.
Just talk to me about how you thought that fight went. At the start, it was a bit of a trading at the start. Hrgovic having a lot of success, and then nearer towards the end, Dubois coming on stronger, and I suppose drowning Hrgovic really. So, how did you really see the fight as the rounds went on?
As a trainer, obviously, we knew going into that fight, we knew the strategy, we knew the game plan, and the fighter has to go there and execute the game plan as close to possible in terms of percentages. But in the first 3 rounds was very concerning for us, the training staff, because we were taking too many right hands. That was not part of the plan with 10-ounce gloves. So you have to credit the opposition. He came out. It was not sustainable throwing power shots, and he wasn't even setting it up. This is Hrgovic. But obviously it was very concerning for us because we were taking too many right hands for our liking and for the health and safety of the fighter, our fighter. So after the first 3 rounds was very turbulent, and then from round about 4, Hrgovic's energy dropped, and Daniel Dubois took over and systematically broke him down and broke his heart and took the fight out of him. And
in a fight, when you're in the corner and you notice maybe early on it isn't going your way, and especially I suppose last night, what did you do to try and I suppose turn the tide, I guess, in the corner? And what do you have to do to turn a tide in a corner when it isn't really all going to plan as you thought it would be at the start?
Well, that's when you resort back to basics, resort back to fundamentals, resort back to reminding the fighter. It's been rehearsed. Every trainer, every fighter, you do it, your practice in the gym, and you just got to go back to reminding the fighter to do A, B, C. And he was able to do that and then start covering up a bit more, tighter guard, taking his head off center, coming off the firing line, stuff like that. Double jabbing, which was the game plan, to double jab this guy because he's a counter. Filip Hrgovic is very good at a drawback counter of a single jab. So we had to start using our double jabs, backing him up. Don't let him have center ring. So Daniel started to have success once he started implementing the game plan.
And Daniel obviously again showed a lot of heart in that fight, and same like the Miller fight. He showed a lot of heart in that, showed a lot of heart again. So do you think now it's really, really rubbishing the critics from what everyone will say?
Our aim, his aim, Daniel the fighter, is to keep developing, keep improving. He's only 26 years old, and if the critics will always be there, you name me a fighter, including Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, who achieved what they've achieved, including Usyk, they're still getting a percentage of the population criticizing them. So you can never really stop that. It's not in anyone's control. All you can do is keep working harder and be the best you can be. There will always be critics there.
And you mentioned there about you seeing Hrgovic start to tire. Did you feel like after that cut opened and sort of the 7th and 8th round of how much success that Daniel had that, this fight was definitely coming to a close?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, I'm glad for him. He's got a family to go back to. Yeah, I'm glad for him that the cut forced the stoppage bet. Had it not, it was gonna get worse for him because we always train. Daniel Dubois was very tremendously fit. Yeah, and the fitness will also help you to take shots that if you weren't fit, you boxers sometimes get knocked out because they're not fit. Yeah, the fitness that we brought there, he was willing to walk through fire. His will showed, yes, the will to win, because it's not always going to go your way during the fight. He's learned now. It's all about development. He's a young man. He didn't have an extensive amateur career. People failed to he was very successful as an amateur, but nevertheless, he didn't have an extensive amateur career. Okay, so, 26 years old, the future is very, very bright for that young man. It really is.
You mentioned there about sort of all the attributes that he's gained, and a lot of that can be credited to yourself. Since he's linked up with you, only the 3 fights, and they've obviously been 3 really competitive big fights. So it shows, I suppose, what you've implemented to Daniel that has made him such a better fighter. Now he's with yourself.
Well, yeah. I mean, listen, I'm not one for bigging up myself. Yeah, the work speaks for itself. So I'm still hungry. I've been in this industry for 20 years training fighters. I'm still very hungry to be the best coach that I can be, which would then reflect to produce the best fighters.
Absolutely, and one thing with Hrgovic, especially in the build-up, and a lot of people sort of made accusations of himself being arrogant and overlooking Daniel. I mean, even in the fight week build-up, he didn't really credit him much. He said, I'm just going to smash this guy. It's no hard opponent for me. Do you think that would have played a negative factor of him sort of downplaying Daniel?
Well, I don't know if it was with yourself that I pointed that out. Yeah, I said complacency is a killer disease, and I detected from his body language, from his speech, what he was saying. I thought, he's either kidding us or kidding himself. I think he was kidding himself in the sense that he did take it for granted. I could see that. I thought, am I missing something here? He said, I will bash you, my football country bashed England or something. If Daniel beats me, I will retire. He was saying all kind of nonsense. And then he was very complacent, very arrogant. I also alluded that I see an arrogant individual here, okay? It was forever it was pouting all the time, like, I'm so sexy for this sport kind of thing. It was like, I thought, this dude, you're going to get rude awakening. And exactly what I said pre-fight is what I'm saying post-fight. Those things will come back and bite him, and they did daily bite him.
Do you think that field makes a victory sweeter? When Daniel almost earned his respect in the ring, and this is what he said he's going to do. He's going to earn his respect, and he ended up doing that.
Most definitely, 100%.
It's only right now to talk about what is next, and I think it's pretty. I mean, there's a clear sort of person who is next for Daniel Dubois. Obviously, now holds the IBF interim world heavyweight title. Anthony Joshua's sitting ringside. As a keen watcher of that fight, ideally that is the next step you'd say for Daniel Dubois. I'm
not Daniel Dubois' manager or his lawyer. He has a very good management team and a very, very extremely good lawyer. And they're dealing with that side of things. It's been mentioned that potentially could be the next fight, but I'm not at liberty to expand any more on that. But it's public knowledge. It's not like a secret. Also, being made the interim champion, that's a very good position to be in, meaning that you're basically next in line for that IBF belt, so which could also be promoted to the actual full title if Mr. Usyk. They should make him a replica so he can keep he's an undisputed champion. That's unquestionable. Why do you have to hold on to it? IBF should make him a replica. Say, here you go. It's one for you to keep. Give us that one. Let other people earn a living. Let other people fight for it. So, but like I said, I'm not a lawyer or a manager for Daniel Dubois, so I let them deal with that side of things, and I just get on doing what I do best in the gym and prepare the fighters. But I suppose on a personal level for yourself, having that IBF interim being the potential mandatory for Oleksandr Usyk, on a personal level, that must have some interest for you of that rematch after everything that happened last August. Most definitely, but again, like I said during we spoke before the the fight we just had against Filip Hrgovic. I said, I don't like to look too far with things, yeah? I know things have been said, spoken, what potentially could happen, but first things first, we've got to digest this win and enjoy it, and on to the next. Whatever comes, we're fully qualified in every department to deal with whatever comes next.
It's only right to, I suppose, talk about an overall aspect. Queensbury absolutely smashing Matchroom 10-0. I couldn't believe it.
Unbelievable. Even me, I'm Team Queensbury. Even me could not predict. I don't think anyone could have. What, a whitewash like that? Yeah. Come on, and everybody put probably a career best performance. Yeah, because there was stern opposition with it. Yeah, stern opposition because everybody was fighting. Yeah, the opposition was good level. Everybody was, it was 50-50, a lot of 50-50 fights there. And to get a 5-0, I mean, that's amazing. I'm so happy for Frank Warren. Yeah, Queensbury.
I suppose a final couple from myself. Obviously, you train the heavyweight and being sort of involved in heavyweights. It's only right I ask about the main event as well. Deontay Wilder being knocked out by Zhang. I suppose, what did you make of that and seeing sort of that Wilder that we saw there getting sort of stopped like that?
Yeah, for me, I know them personally. I know his trainer, Malik Scott, a great student of the sport. And I've begun to develop a relation or a friendship with Wilder, because staying in the same hotel and stuff like that over 2 camps, you get to know these people. They're nice people. Yeah, it's sorry to see that they're lost. But what can I say? I've been there. When you lose, it's a horrible place to be, and I do feel for them, and I hope he's all right, first and foremost, to go back to his family and healthy. He's entertained. Obviously, it's for him to what he does next, but he brings that excitement. He's a character, isn't he? Deontay Wilder and the industry love him. Being a part of it, So I'm sure he'll go back and decide what he wants to do, regroup, and, yeah. I mean, he came ready. He came, like he said, he came ready. It wasn't all one-way traffic in there, was it? It wasn't all one-way traffic. But again, to credit Zhang, the Big Bang. I mean, goodness, yeah. I did say actually before when I was asked how do I say, and I said this question: who detonates first? And. Wilder tagged him a few times, and he took it, and then he had his success when he's heavy-handed, Zhang, and he's a big man, big southpaw, very, very hard to fight. He's, like I said, Zhang is. Don't get Zhang by Zhang, Gile. And his coach is a wonderful man, Sean George. We know each other for a very long time. And people don't speak to him. Not much is known. I know him, but not much is known about this guy. He's a tremendous individual, brilliant coach. So yeah, again, boxing won last night. People were thoroughly entertained, and it lived up to the expectations and beyond.
Just a final one from myself. Obviously, you've done a great job with Daniel, but it's obviously a lot of credit to the other to the team as well in general. Kieran Fowle, Tony Peel, everyone else in that corner that puts it all together, and a real team effort that from not just Daniel but the gym as well. Harry Armstrong, Tyson Gallagher, Harvey Dykes, everyone that gets put the work in.
Well, you said it all for me, young man, and I'm glad because, as you know, it's called a team for a reason. It's not just me. I'm a spokesperson, let's say, but there's so many other cogs that turns the wheel, okay? And Kieran, like you said, is a new member to our setup, and wow, and he's flying. He's such a lovely young man, and if you know his story, then you're thinking, wow, and he's coming into that setup, and he's fitted in just like boom, really tight. And watch this space, because we're gonna go on, me and him together. He's a younger version of me. He's passionate, like you said. Tony Peel, whom been working with Tony for years. Ian Dewberry, we've been together for years. We've been on the journey. We've got fighters in the gym, yeah. Tyson Gallagher, what's my Frankie Story, my sparring partner, Jordan Reynolds, you know. We've got my guys, Harry Armstrong, Tony Yoka, Jürgen Oldar. I mean, the PUG Gym is lively, man, yeah? And they're all gonna feed. They're all chasing titles. It's strap season, people, strap season at PUG, okay? Everyone's chasing titles, and onwards and upwards and onwards.
Yeah. Brilliant. Don, thank you for taking time to speak to you. Really, really good to catch up with you, and I appreciate the time as well. And enjoy the rest of the time in Saudi Arabia, and I suppose all the best, mate. Top man. Thank you, mate. Cheers. Thank you.